welcome into another edition of Box Office Quarterbacks, an episode 2 weeks in the making. I'm Jeff. That's my friend Ahmed. We were finally talking about Monkey Man, one of the most surprising movies of the year, one of the best movies of the year, if not the best so far. Ahmed,
Monkey
uh,
Man.
yes.
Sorry, I
Hey,
couldn't
Arnold.
help it. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Deep
Yeah,
cuts.
no, it was incredible. A lot of people were saying it's kind of like a John Wick, but really, I think it's an introduction to people of Indian cinema. A lot of people think when they think of Indian movies, they think Bollywood, they think of like you know the cheesy romantic comedies, but really there was a point in life. Well, and there still are. It's just very independent Bollywood film, Indian movies that were based on revenge. These little themes where, it's a one man army against a bunch of people. So, if anything, I think movie is going to be like people's introduction to Indian movies. And if John Wick is kind of like the catalyst for it, fine, I'm here for it.
Yeah, this was my introduction to that side of cinema, and it's fantastic. Like, Dev Patel directed this movie, he starred in this movie. Just the undertaking that he had to do in this movie, with doing his own stunts and coming up with the choreography and the what he put his body through. Like, he broke his hand filming this movie, he broke some toes, he got an eye infection in that bathroom fight scene. Like,
Hmm.
this is such an impressive directorial debut. I told Ahmed earlier, this is probably the most impressed I've been with a first movie from a director since Jordan Peele and Get Out. And it's no coincidence Jordan Peele is a producer on this movie, and it is very, very interesting to see what Dev Patel is going to do next as far as his directorial career goes.
Well, and I think, on your point about Get Out, whenever that movie was, being teased out, a lot of people, including myself, were a little surprised. But at the same time, we were like, you know what? It's Jordan. Let's see what he's got. And I think a lot of people kind of reacted the same way with Dev Patel. I think he's got a really good resume of films under his belt. I don't think he's made a shitty movie. He really takes himself seriously as an actor, so it doesn't surprise me that he had this level of dedication. And I think it's fair to say that Jordan Peele is taking him under his wing. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and if that's the case, I mean, you couldn't find a better mentor. I mean, there clearly, there are some amazing directors out there, but Jordan Peele, I think, understands the grind and is not too far away from that to where he kind of can see that, hey, I've made these mistakes. Don't do the same thing I did, or can just really be a good supporting hand and not so and let Dev have some creative freedom, if that makes sense. In Fandango, there was like an interview where Dev Patel was interviewing Jordan Peele. They were both interviewing each other, and Jordan said he watched the movie before he put his hand in the movie 3 times.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that just speaks volumes in and of itself.
Yeah, that's he rescued this movie because this movie was originally going to go stream on Netflix, is how it was going to debut, but Jordan Peele saw it and said, "Hey, this needs a big screen release," and he got Universal to sign it under his Monkey Paw, which is crazy, Monkey Paw Productions, to release this movie in theaters. And I've seen this movie in theaters twice now, and it's been like a fairly packed house both times. And like the reactions from the crowd, especially to some of the fight scenes, are just very, very strong. And yeah, it is definitely like John Wick. It's not, I think it's a lot deeper than John Wick is, though, because there's a lot of political stuff that's going on here, a lot of religious undertones as well. Like, you get more of a backstory into Dev Patel's anonymous character. You could call him Bobby if you wanted to, but like, there's a lot more backstory into his family than what you get with John Wick and John Wick Chapter 1, at least. So I think that, like, the fact that Dev was able to make you care so much about his character in one movie is just a testament to how strong of a writer he is too, because he wrote this movie along with two other co-writers. Like, this is so impressive to me, especially for a movie that has a $10 million budget.
Mm. Well, see, and Jeff, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. Usually whenever I'm on this podcast, I'm a little like extra and everything. But this one, like, I did tear up watching this movie because as somebody who grew up being ridiculed for liking Indian movies, and I stopped watching them for a long time. And then I was 18, my brother-in-law, who's not South Asian, made me watch this movie called 1947 Earth. And it made me kind of go, oh, wow, there are Indian movies that really have some depth to it. And this film, 1947 Earth, talks about religion. It talks about partition, which we talked about in Miss Marvel. And so with this movie, Monkey Man, to include LGBTQ hijras, hijra means trans people. Um, Hijra is actually an insult. It means like cross dresser. And so to have these individuals, though, not only be, you know, badasses, but also be real people and just real like supportive. I just was amazed by it. And then to have Jordan Peele kind of take a South Asian, actor, who Dev Patel is not nobody, but just kind of take him under his wing like that. It just I started tearing up in the fucking theater because this is just inclusivity in a world where we're so divided right now. This is that kind of companionship that we really need.
Yeah, and those scenes of the temple were great. I love the training sequence, and that'll transition us into scenes. But yeah, the training at the temple, the leader of the women at the temple, I thought was one of the strongest characters in this movie, and like the fact that they come back at the end and they help him
Yeah,
when they're coming and taking down that club, that was so badass. Like, they
dude.
show up in
Oh,
these crazy masks and dresses and they're just going at people, and like I was like, holy shit, like this movie hit a gear
I'm
right
I'm
then and
getting
there.
goosebumps just again, just because I can see it with the masks, and it's like the cavalry is here. Literally, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up as I'm saying it. The cavalry is here, and because all hope is lost. And how is he supposed to take on all these people? It's kind of like in John Wick 4 when he keeps falling down the stairs, he keeps getting
Yes.
kicked down, and then Donnie Yen just, hey, give me your hand.
Yeah, man, just fuck, man, Dev Patel is a movie star. He really is. Like, um any scenes that really stand out to you here?
Yeah, that training scene that you talked about and that scene I mentioned, I also, ooh, that scene where he's trying to put out the are we in spoiler territory now? I guess we
We're
are.
all spoilers. Yeah, all
When
spoilers.
when they do the backstory of his mom, and that's how he got those scars on his hands. You didn't need some giant like, you want to know how I got these scars? Like the whole time you're just like staring at this, and he's like, this is my resume, this is my CV. And it's like he literally got them trying to save his mom. And then, of course, to find out what happened to his mom. And then to see that this sheriff is this monster that you can't help but hate. And then to see him get justice, but it was nice enough that it was realistic in that maybe you've bit off more than you can chew, but that's still not going to deter him from like taking him down, even if it literally kills him.
Yeah, like there's so many scenes here. Like, I love the final fight between Rana and Dev and his character. Like, that fight in the VIP room is great. I love the bathroom fight scene. That's just one of the most brutal fight scenes I've seen in a while. And like, at one point, uh, Dev Patel's character pulls the guy's leg and he falls back and he hits his head on the toilet. That shit is
Yeah,
crazy. Like, that was some wild stuff going on in that bathroom. I love the little dog sequence because that was definitely a throwback to John Wick, where
Mhm.
it's like, hey,
Mhm.
I'm training this dog and I'm doing all this. And
Yeah.
yeah, like there's that scene. I think it's when he runs into the brothel and he bites that guy's nose off. Holy shit,
Oh
man.
yeah. Well, you're in a fight. What do you gotta do everything you can. So I was with it. I was like, "Yep, bite his fucking nose off.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do." But um, you said something, and it made me think of another thing. Um, we're talking about the bathroom scene. That bathroom scene. One of the things I feel bad for you, Jeff, and a lot of like the only English speakers, the ones that don't speak Hindi. Um, there were some like little things that weren't subtitled, and so to understand that is to really like get like the real rawness of it. This movie should have been all in Hindi, if I'm being honest. So the fact that it was in English, fine. But whenever they were like in the bathroom scene, every time he would say something in Hindi, he was cussing him out. He was saying, "Oh, come here, like you cunt, like you're
Oh
gonna try."
shit.
Right? He's like, "Come here, you little fucker, you little benchod," means sister fucker, which is our equivalent of motherfucker. But then they were saying "motherchod," which means motherfucker. But when he's saying this, he's like, "You motherfucker, come here! I'm going to kill you. You try to come at me." Literally, he's saying these things, and if people could understand the muttering, it would just kind of go, "Oh shit, he's in fucking trouble." And I'm here, kind of just watching the movie at the edge of my seat. It's been a long time. I don't think there's been a movie this year that has made me at the edge of my seat like that.
Yeah, like, and that's a testament to the writing. It's a testament to the characters. And we talk about characters now. Obviously, Bobby or whoever you want to call him in this movie, Dev, will probably be our top character. I did love
Mhm.
Alfonso. I thought Alfonso was hilarious. The scenes he was in, and just like kind of taking him under the wing. I loved. He's like, "This is Nicki Minaj," is like big bumper, nice headlights, or something like that
Yeah.
in his car. So he'd probably be my two, and the leader of the temple. I think she would be number three for me.
Oh, most definitely. Vipin Sharma is the actor who played the Hijra character, and just amazing. Like just the fact that you know it's this is a serious character, and usually like in Indian movies to have a Hijra character, they're usually the comic relief. You know, they're very like over the top, flamboyant. But to have this character be so integral to the story, yeah, if it's not number one, it has to be number two.
Yeah.
Um, I did like the sheriff Rana just because he did a really good job of making me hate him.
Mhm.
Um, and I also liked I liked I liked Alfonso. I was beginning to hate him because he reminds me of somebody that I know
Oh
who
no.
like I can't stand the guy, but he's my guy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
one of those. So, and he's not watching this podcast. I don't think he ever watches. But if he is, Bilal, I love you, man. Call me.
Yeah. Everybody knows a guy like that. That's for sure.
And maybe, and who knows? Maybe if you're watching, you're that person. But still, we love you. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's redeeming stuff about everybody, kind of.
I know.
Yeah, but yeah, I love this movie. Like, uh, I think like some of the villains, I think they were kind of there just to be evil. Like Queenie was just straight up unredeemable. I didn't really care for her character as much, and there's also like a love interest here. Like it was an attempt at a love interest, but it didn't really
Mm,
get that far. So I mean, that character wasn't really fleshed out. But other than that, like this is a very strong cast, like across the board. I would
I
say,
agree. 1,000%. I thought like whenever they had to introduce a love interest, I was like, okay, this seems very forced.
yeah,
Um, but I still, oh, and of course, Queenie. I don't think they used her character as much as they probably could have, because it seems like she was very integral as well. Um, the the priest guy. I can't remember his character's name, but the Baba, I
Yeah.
think is what they called him. That guy. I wish they would have used him more because he was like on a perfect level of creepy,
Hmm.
and I hate that we had to see his true colors even more so at the end. So yeah,
Yeah. Like that guy. He was a good character. They didn't really flesh him out either, but that didn't really hinder the viewing experience for me. That'll get us into our scores, Ahmed. This movie is strong. I love this movie. Um, it has to be a Hall of Fame for me. Like it is such an impressive feat to pull off with the budget, with the first time director, first time action star. Really, like I know Dev was in like The Last Airbender and movies like that, but this is completely different. I'm sure he had to like do some martial arts training for this and uh, everything like that. Even though he is a black belt in Taekwondo, like there's so
in
much
real
that
life.
goes in. Yeah, in real life, like there's so
Oh
much you
no
got to
shit.
do to it this way, though. I'm guessing. But yeah, what about you?
I give it a Hall of Fame as well. I if some of the characters were a little bit more fleshed out, I think maybe I don't think I would have been opposed to the movie being a little bit longer either. Otherwise, I would give it the goat. But for that reason, I'm giving it a Hall of Fame, which is again not like a bad thing for those of you who watch it for the first time. That is still 5 stars.
Yeah, it is for a first time director, man, that is impressive. Like we're not normally handing that score out for anything like that. But yeah, I want to see more from Dev. Like he's in talks to direct or not to direct, but to star in Jurassic World 4. Which is exciting for me. I don't know if it's exciting for a lot of other people, but I think he could really do anything. I think he could direct another movie. I think if he wanted to join a superhero franchise, which is kind of on the downswing, like me and Ahmed were talking, Nightwing would be a good role for him. Dick Grayson, I could see him playing.
Yeah,
Um,
because we got robbed with Kumail Nanjiani's character, man.
yeah,
And he put in a lot. He went viral for changing his freaking body.
yeah,
And what, we got like 10, 15 minutes of him.
yeah.
um on that note, about more projects, I want to say Dev and Jordan were talking about doing a project together, and oh my god, take as long as you need to work on that, but please don't make us wait too long. But if you need the time to work on it, make it perfect, fine, we will patiently wait. But ooh, that's gonna be a goat.
Like put him in Jordan's next movie. That would be sick. Like
With
Jordan
Daniel Kaluuya.
and Steven Yen. Like
Yeah.
we could have an all star cast.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Wait, you heard it here, folks. Jordan Peele, Universal, Sony, A24, whoever, you guys gotta, give us a writing credit or something.
Yeah, like pick the monster. We don't even care. Like just put those three in a movie together, and there's your movie.
There you
It
go.
sells
Yeah.
itself.
See?
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about Monkey Man, Ahmed, before we get out of here?
Monkey Man. That's
I,
awesome.
I second that too. But yeah, another edition of Box Office Quarterbacks. I'm Jeff. It's my friend Ahmed. We'll be back soon with Fallout. We're also going to be talking about Civil War. We will see you guys very, very soon. Have a good rest of the week.